So hello everyone, welcome back to my channel again. Today's topic is the projectile motion, means when the object is thrown certain angle with respect to the horizontal, how the trajectory of the projectile will occur. That means if we throw an object in this way, in this direction, okay, with an angle of theta with respect to horizontal, so how this path will occur, that is our discussion. And one more thing, that this will prove all these things, right? That is so that trajectory of the projectile is parabola. Next is the time of maximum height, means how much time it will take to reach the maximum height, okay, through this path. So when we throw an object from this point, let take as origin O, so what will happen at each and every point? We have to, suppose we are throwing an object with an initial velocity u. So this is the initial velocity u. And remember, for any object, when the object is moving in a curved path, in that case, when the object is moving in a curved path, in that case, because velocity is a vector quantity and it must have a particular direction, single direction, and that is the reason why at each and every point the direction is tangential, okay? At each and every point the direction is tangential. The same thing will happen in this case also, right? So because in this point the direction is tangential, that is the initial velocity u I am taking, right? Now as there are two components, I am dividing the u and dividing into two components. One is horizontal component along the x-axis, another is vertical component along the y-axis. So one component is I am taking as ux, which is nothing but, as the theta is connected with the horizontal component, so it will be u cos theta. As we know, where the theta is connected, that side is cos theta, and where theta is not connected, that side is known as sin theta component. So that is uy, which is nothing but u sin theta. Okay, so there are two components. Initial velocity has two components. One is u cos theta, another is u sin theta. At this point, when just the object starts moving, right? So now gradually the object will be moving up, okay, in this path, and it will be coming down again to the ground again, right? So the main point is that in this projectile motion, the main point is that 2 points to be remembered. First point is, during its journey from here to here, let assume I am taking as OA, this journey along this path, its horizontal velocity will remain constant. Everywhere the horizontal velocity will remain constant. That means if we draw a tangential point in this point, that is the velocity v, so if we do the component division of these two, component division means one is horizontal component, another is vertical component. Here is nothing but vx, here it is vy, right? Even the vx is also u cos theta. Remember, that is also u cos theta, because as I said, horizontal component in a projectile motion is always remain constant. This point should be noted, okay? So that means I am writing the horizontal component of velocity, that is you can take vx, ux, whatever, horizontal component, especially the horizontal component, means the component along the x-axis, that is always remain constant throughout the journey. Even if the object is over here, if we draw the tangential direction of velocity v, so you have to do the component division of vertical component and horizontal component. This still here the horizontal component is u cos theta. Remember, u cos theta is always remain constant. U cos theta is always remain constant. Please remember that. Okay. So the horizontal component of velocity is constant throughout the path. In this total path, the horizontal component will remain constant, okay, but vertical component are not constant. Vertical components are not constant. So that means the vertical component continuously changes at each and every point, because you know when the object is trying, you are throwing the object with an angle and object is going in this path and it is coming down. Why? Because of the gravity. Gravity pulls down the object downward, right? That is the reason why the trajectory is kind of parabola. That I am going to show also. The first question, show that trajectory of a projectile is a parabola. That I am going to show here. Okay. So vertical component is not constant. Vertical component is at each and every point may vertical component will be continuously changes. Only the horizontal component will remain constant. That is nothing but u cos theta. U cos theta will remain constant forever from here to here throughout this all journey. That point is very important. Next is vertical component of velocity. Velocity changes. Vertical component of velocity changes. That means u sin theta was the velocity at initial point, but u sin theta will not remain constant at each and every point. It will be continuously varied, because vertical component that is continuously varied because it depends on gravity. Gravity pulls it down. That's why the velocity changes. Initially the velocity decreases. At the maximum height, the vertical component becomes 0. Then again it is increases in that kind of thing. So the first point is so that trajectory of a projectile is parabola. Okay, so we are going to prove that trajectory of a projectile is parabola or not. That I am going to prove. So first of all, I am taking any arbitrary point, any random point P. Let's assume this is the P. Okay, and its coordinate is x comma y. Its coordinate is x comma y. What does it mean by x comma y? Because to reach the point P, you need to reach first along the x-axis x amount distance. Okay, and then you have to reach y distance along the y-axis. That's why the coordinate is x comma y, as you know already, coordinate geometry. So x along the x-axis x amount distance, along the y-axis y distance. Okay, so now first point I will find out the x. So x, देखो कोई भी चीज अगर हॉरिजॉन्टल में कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो उसको कांस्टेंट मान के कैलकुलेट करेंगे. देयर इज नो एक्सेलरेशन, नथिंग इज देयर. इट इज मूविंग विद ए कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी. कंपोनेंट ऑफ वेलोसिटी इज कांस्टेंट थ्रू द पार्ट. दैट मींस इट इज द कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी. कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी. वेलोसिटी इज कांस्टेंट where in a horizontal, but in vertical it is not constant. That's why whenever we will do the anything in a horizontal, we will not apply the equation of motion, because equation of motion is applicable only when there is a uniform acceleration. So first thing that I want to find out the point P, the along the x-axis, what is the distance it travels. So at time t, object reaches from point O to point P. From O to P object has been reached, right? Now how much displacement along the x-axis, that is the distance travel or displacement along x-axis is x equals to, this is x-axis. Along x-axis how much distance? As the time is t and the velocity along x-axis always remain constant, which is nothing but u cos theta. So velocity displacement is equals to velocity into time. So that means u cos theta is the velocity into time is t. From here you will calculate time equals to x by u cos theta. That is the time I am getting. Equation number 1. So that means displacement along x-axis is x is equals to u cos theta into t. From there I calculated the time. Now I use this time in the displacement along y-axis. Now displacement along y-axis, that is y. Y means this one. How much displaces from the along the y-axis? How much displaces means when the object reaches at point P, how much distance it has covered in a vertical way. Vertical is direct velocity is not constant, so here you have to use the here you have to use the equation of motion. There are three equation of motion, as you know. V equals to u plus at, s is equals to ut plus half at square. This is the main three equation, okay? U square plus 2as. These three equation of motion will be applicable only in case of vertical, only in case of y-axis. Remember, along x-axis it is not required because it is moving with a constant speed. So in case of constant speed, acceleration is 0. So there is no requirement of using the equation of motion for a x-axis, x component. X component velocity is constant, that's why, right? So displacement along y-axis is y equals to, so s is equals to ut plus half at square, that formula. S is equals to ut plus half at square. So s means displacement, that is y, equals to ut means uy. U of what? Y component. You don't take the x component because you are calculating displacement along y-axis. That's why uy into t, ut. Now, as the object is moving against the gravity, there will be minus sign, half at square. Instead of a, we have to write gt square. Gt square. Right? So this is the fact. Now, y equals to uy. What is uy? U sin theta. U sin theta. Initial velocity along vertical component is u sin theta. So it is u sin theta into t. Instead of t, I will write x by u cos theta. X by u cos theta minus half g t square. T square means x square by u square cos square theta. Just I am replacing the value of t over here. So I am getting u cancel. Therefore y equals to sin theta by cos theta is tan theta. So let tan theta into x minus g by 2u square cos square theta into x square. So that means you are getting a equation, you are getting an equation which is following the kind of ax square plus bx plus c formula. That is the quadratic equation, right? Ax square plus bx plus c. C is 0 here in this case. So that means this is the quadratic equation, and we know that any quadratic equation always follows the parabolic equation. That is the reason why this is nothing but, as it is the quadratic equation, therefore the trajectory of the projectile is parabola. The trajectory of the projectile is parabola. Projectile is parabola. Parabola. Okay. So this is all about the first question. Show that the trajectory of a projectile is parabola. This is how you have to show. It's very easy that when we are doing the x-axis component, constant speed, that's why no need to use the equation of motion. Only whenever you are calculating the y-axis component, then you have to use the equation of motion to calculate this, because along the y-axis only the velocity changes and acceleration arises, right? And along the x-axis there is no acceleration because object is moving along the x-axis always constant speed, that is u cos theta. Always at each and every point u cos theta is remain constant, right? So that is the first thing. Chalo, next one. I'm going to the next one, that is the time of maximum height, right? This is the second one, okay? Time of maximum height. So how to calculate this? The second one, time of maximum height means how much time it is required to reach the maximum height, Tm. Okay, time required to reach the maximum height. This is the maximum height. Okay, in the projectile motion, this is the maximum height. Okay, this is the maximum height, hmax. Hmax from here to here, right? So how much time it will take for a particle or for an object to reach from here to here, that I want to calculate. First of all, if we take the velocity component at the maximum point, you can see it is only horizontal component because the curve is continuously moving like this. So that means it is only having horizontal component. Is there any vertical component? No, there is no vertical component at the maximum height. You know what? At each and every point there will be vertical as well as horizontal component, but only at the maximum height there is only horizontal component, there is no vertical component, right? So as there is no vertical component of the velocity exists at the maximum height, so we will use that concept over here to calculate it, right? So at the maximum height, the vertical component of velocity is 0. There is no vertical component. You can see at the maximum height only horizontal component, there is no vertical component, right? So that's why vertical component को क्या बोलते हैं? Y component. So I will write as Vy equals to 0. Vy equals to 0. What is my intention? To calculate time. So velocity 0, time I need to calculate. So I will use out of these three equations any one equation I have to use. Especially this equation I will use. Okay, because I don't need displacement. ये दोनों में displacement है तो ये दोनों equation use नहीं करेंगे. क्या करेंगे? इसको करेंगे. So we know V equals to U plus AT. So V means Vy equals to Uy minus GT, and T means at the maximum height. This is GT, right? Now at the maximum height, what is 0? Vy is 0. So when you write Vy equals to 0 in the next line, Vy equals to 0, in that case T will become Tm. So at when this is T will become Tm, time of maximum to reach the maximum height. T को सिर्फ Tm से रिप्लेस करेंगे और कुछ नहीं, ठीक है? So 0 Uy means Uy is U sin theta. So I write U sin theta minus G into Tm, right? So therefore from here Tm, time required to reach the object in maximum height, is nothing but, इसको इधर लेके आएंगे तो U sin theta और G नीचे आ जाएगा. So that is the formula. Time required to reach the maximum height is simply U sin theta by G. U sin theta by G. Okay. So now when we throw an object vertically upward, like if you are throwing an object upward, how much time it will take to reach the maximum height? Acha, do you know when you are throwing an object upward, how much angle with respect to horizontal? How much angle with respect to horizontal line? 90 degree. Because you are throwing the object upward. So with respect to horizontal, it is vertical. I mean perfectly vertical. That means making an angle 90 degree. So when object thrown vertically upward, in that case what is the angle? Theta equals to 90 degree. So time required to maximum height Tm, in that case क्या हो जाएगा? U sin 90 by G. Okay, sin 90 is 1, so that is U by G. That is the special case of this projectile motion, you can see. So when you are throwing with an angle, certain angle, that is the general formula. From this general formula, you can calculate the special formula, like when the object is thrown vertically upward, what is the time taken? Time taken is U by G. How it is coming? By putting the theta equals to 90 degree in this equation. Sin 90 is 1, right? So that is how we can calculate the time of maximum height, right? Chalo next करेंगे. This is the second one done. Third one, time of flight. Okay, next one is time of flight. Now the third one, time of flight. Time of flight. What is the meaning of that time of flight? TF. Okay, time of flight का मतलब क्या है? So how much time it will take an object to reach from O to A through this journey? मतलब total time it takes to reach from O to A. How much total time it will take? That is called time of flight. How much time it was taken to reach here? That is the time of maximum height that we have already done. Now I am calculating time required to reach from O to A through this path. That is the time of flight. Okay. So to calculate the time of flight, tell me first of all, from here to here, is there any horizontal component? I mean horizontal displacement तो हो रहा है, that is the horizontal displacement from here to here, that is also called range r, the horizontal displacement is r, but there is no vertical displacement. क्यों? क्योंकि when an object is moving from this point, same horizontal level, from this point to this point, there is horizontal, same horizontal level means there is no vertical displacement, there is no vertical displacement. Okay. Student seems to do mistake, like when the object is moving from here to here, when the object is moving from here to here, what is the displacement? We know the displacement means the shortest path between the initial and final point. So is this the displacement? No, displacement means you have to draw the horizontal line at both the point, and now shortest path between the 2 points is known as the displacement, means the height itself. So in this case, when the object is going from O to A, is there any height? Height is 0, because they are on the same horizontal level. O and A both are in the same horizontal level. That means vertical component displacement is 0. So displacement along the vertical axis is 0, right? So that will I will use. That means displacement along the vertical axis is equals to 0. That means S, displacement is S, Y, vertical means Y, component is 0. S Y equals to 0, right? So S Y equals to 0. Now S means this formula I will use. So S is equals to UT plus half AT square, that formula. So therefore we know S Y equals to UY you have to take, because you are taking only vertical component. Whenever you are taking the vertical component, you have to take vertical component of velocity also. Don't take UX, only you have to take UY here. So UT, U into T means the total time of flight, TF, minus half G T square means TF square, right? So as the displacement is 0, so put the 0 value here. So 0 equals to UY. Achha, what is the UY means? U sin theta. So write down U sin theta into TF minus half G TF square. Okay. Now from here I am just taking this minus half G square in this direction as a half G TF square equals to U sin theta into TF. एक TF cancel हो गया. So that means that TF, time of total flight, is 2U sin theta by G. That means that the last equation was time required to reach the maximum height was only U sin theta by G. Now it is 2U sin theta, means that's just double. So that means how much time it will take from here to here, just double कर दो तो यहाँ से यहाँ तक लग जाएगा, ठीक है? 2U sin theta by G. So this is the formula to time of flight. Clear? चलो next करेंगे maximum height. So what is this height I want to calculate, maximum height. Okay. So now next one is maximum height. Next one is the fourth one is maximum height calculation of maximum height, HM. How much height this is I am talking about. Achha, at the maximum height what is 0? At the maximum height what is 0? In the first case we have done this time of maximum height calculation करने के लिए we have done what is 0? The vertical component of velocity is 0 at the maximum height. Why? Because there is only horizontal component. There is no vertical component at the maximum height. So that means at maximum height, the vertical component of velocity is 0. Vertical component of velocity is equals to 0. That means Vy equals to 0. Clear? So now as Vy is 0, I have to calculate the height. Height means displacement. So we will use this equation because I don't need time here. So we will not use this equation. We will use this equation. V square equals to U square plus 2as. Right? So now V square means Vy square. equals to uy square minus 2as. A means g here, s means displacement, that is the height max hm. So v square equals to u square minus 2as 2gh, right? So now vy square is 0, so 0 equals to, therefore 0 equals to uy square. Uy square means u square sin square theta, because uy means u sin theta, so uy square means u square sin square theta minus 2ghm. Okay. From here hm or the maximum height equals to u square sin square theta by 2g, u square sin square theta by 2g. This is the formula. Okay, u square sin square theta by 2g, this is the formula to calculate the maximum height. ठीक है, so एक एक चीज सीखेंगे. मैक्सिमम हाइट में क्या जीरो होता है, a जीरो होता है, vy जीरो होता है. दैट वी हैव डन इन केस ऑफ दिस आल्सो ना, टाइम ऑफ मैक्सिमम हाइट, वहां पे भी vy जीरो करके कैलकुलेट किया था, लेकिन वहां पे इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन का फर्स्ट इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन वी हैव यूज्ड. नाउ हियर वी हैव यूज्ड द थर्ड इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन. दैट इज द थिंग. नाउ इन टाइम ऑफ फ्लाइट में क्या कैलकुलेट किया था ना, डिस्प्लेसमेंट अलोंग द y एक्सिस इज 0, sy इज 0. सो इसीलिए वी हैव यूज्ड दिस इक्वेशन for calculation the time of flight. Now in this case maximum height calculation, same vy is 0, vertical component along the vertical component of the velocity is 0 at the maximum height, because it has only horizontal component present, right? That is the reason why. And the one last topic is horizontal range. We will calculate now. Horizontal range means if we throw an object with a velocity u, how far it will cover, how much distance along the horizontal it will cover. That is the next one, the fifth one, that is the horizontal range. Horizontal range, horizontal range capital R I want to calculate. देखो मैंने क्या बोला था, हॉरिजॉन्टल का कोई भी चीज होगा तो देयर इज ए कांस्टेंट स्पीड, देयर इज नो चेंज ऑफ वेलोसिटी, कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी. हॉरिजॉन्टल कंपोनेंट हमेशा कांस्टेंट होता है, देयर इज u cos थीटा. I am not talking about the vertical one. Vertical में acceleration आता है, लेकिन यहाँ पे there will be no acceleration. So that means horizontal range means displacement. Range मतलब displacement means from here to here how much displacement. OA is how much. So horizontal range R, horizontal range R equals to, as there is no acceleration, that's why simple range माने कि displacement. Displacement means velocity into time, velocity into time. So horizontal velocity, horizontal velocity into time. Now which time it is? Which time it is? It is time required to reach from here to here. What is the time? Time of flight, total time. That is called time of flight. Time of flight. ठीक है. So horizontal range R equals to horizontal velocity always constant, that is u cos theta. So write down u cos theta into what is the time of flight into TF. TF is time of flight. What is the time of flight? Just now we have calculated 2u sin theta by g, right? So R equals to u cos theta into, this is 2u sin theta by g. Just now we have calculated the time of flight, that I have replaced here, 2u sin theta by g. Is that clear? So now R equals to, I'll just rearrange little bit. I will take the u first, then I'll write 2u into 2 sin theta cos theta. देखो 2 sin theta cos theta को एक साथ लेंगे, 2 into sin theta cos theta एक साथ, और u into u square हो जाएगा. So that will be by g. 2 sin theta cos theta is known as sin 2 theta. Sin 2 theta, that means horizontal range का फॉर्मूला आ गया मेरा, u square sin 2 theta by g. This is the formula to calculate the horizontal range. Okay, so these all derivations are very important. Okay, so one by one I have shown that trajectory of the projectile is parabola. Next is time of maximum height we have done. Next is time of flight we have done. Next is maximum height we have done. Next horizontal range we have done. ठीक है. So one by one, so these derivations are very important, and for numerical all the formulas you have to remember. So thank you, that's all for today.